Hello, welcome to this video. In this video, I'll be showing you how you can persist data while using Azure Container Instance. In one of the previous videos that we had, I showed you how you could persist data when your container is running locally. So on my Linux, I created a volume that I mounted. Um, I mounted the container to, and data was being stored over there. But now we are going to the cloud. We do not, our volume cannot be created in my local machine or in my Linux subsystem for Windows subsystem for Linux or somewhere that I have complete control over. I need to create my volume on the cloud. So I'll be walking you through how you can do the interconnection. So let me share my screen. And I'll be explaining the architecture very soon. So we have an application. This is a simple console application, a simple .NET console application. And what it does basically is it allows you to download a blob. So you run the application, it goes to a storage account, goes to a container in the storage account and fetches a particular blob and lets you to download it. So the blob connection string, I just copied this string from the storage account that I want to download the blob from. Then the data, the name of the container is data. Then this is the paths that I want to use to, when it's downloaded, this is the path, the local blob where I want the path I want it to be saved. Then the blob name we use, this is the blob I'm interested in. So I already uploaded this blob in this storage account. So we already have this blob over there. Yeah, and all this, you're already familiar with them. So what I just did was I came over here, right click and publish. Then I published to Azure Container Registry. So this .NET app was an image in Azure Container Registry. That's basically all I did here. So before doing that, you need to make sure that you added Docker support. So you just come to add, then Docker support, click on it, then to automatically create this Docker file. So that's basically what we have here. You can see the push is still over here. I just did it like right now, and I didn't want to start a new project again when it's pretty straightforward, and I'll be sharing the code to and I want it to be as fast as possible. So let me stop sharing this. I'll be sharing my Edge browser right now. I'll be sharing my Edge browser. Okay, so let me share my Edge browser. We'll see what's happening here. So if I should go over to if I should go over to, so I think let's talk about the YAML file first. Then when we are done with the YAML file, we'll see how it goes. So let's talk about the YAML file. I think that's where a lot of the magic happens. Yeah, so this is the YAML file, the file that contains the Azure container group. But in this case, we have just one container, and that container is the blob app that we moved from, what's it called? From Visual Studio, that we containerized onto Visual Studio. And I'll be showing you how we get to make use of that very soon. But this is the YAML file that we are using. So let me just start from the beginning. The location is East US. So this location is just the location I want my container instance to be. So what this YAML file really does is that it's provisioning a container instance on Azure. And a container instance is just like your Linux environment, because I choose Linux as the underlying OS when I was um, um, containerizing my .NET application. Then I give the container a name. So the container name over here is blob. You can choose something else. And for the properties, this is the image that I pushed from Visual Studio to Azure Container Registry. So if you can recall, this was the name of the namespace I was using in Visual Studio, and when I published it, this was automatically created in IO Frankly Container Registry, and the resources, they are just stuff that we've worked with previously. Then volume mount. So this is where the action is happening. So I am mounting a volume, and the path is app data. That's the paths I am using to mount the volume. And the name of that mount is volume file share. So I'm still going to define this volume file share, but we have it declared here. So the OS is Linux, the restart policy never. So I want this to happen just once. The container should happen just once. Then the volume. So the name, I'm now recalling the volume file share that was declared earlier on. Then the Azure file, we have the share name, file share volume. So what I did was I went to, so let me just show us this. Let me stop sharing and let me share over here. So I'll go to my storage account. Let me go to my storage account. So what I did was, when I opened this, I came over to file share. Then I added a new file share. Why is this taking time? Okay, so I came over here, I clicked to add a new file share, then I gave it this name, file share volume. So this is where the name came from. So because I already created this, I do not need to create another one. If I wanted to, I can always do that. I can create another one. So this is the name, file share volume. So let's go back to our YAML file. Yeah, so this is the file share volume over here as the name of the file share that I created. So the file share is where I want to create, where I want to store the downloaded blob file. Then storage account name. So this is the name of the storage account. So this storage account is the account that is hosting this file share. You know, file share is just one of the four major categories of storage that we have in a storage account. We've already covered containers, we've covered queues, at least to an extent. We have also covered tables. So now this is the practical scenario of where and how you can make use of file share. So the storage account name, this is it over here. The storage account key also, I copied it. So this is the storage account key, not the connection string. Take note of that. The name and the storage account key. Then also for the image registry also. For the image registry, we need to get the server name, the server, the username, as well as the password. This is different from what we have in the storage account. This is for the Azure Container Registry. So this credentials is for Azure Container Registry. So what we have here is for Azure Container Registry, the container registry where we published the Visual Studio.NET application. So that's what we are referencing here. Then over here is the storage account that is hosting the file share. Then let me scroll up. Then over here, what we have here is the actual URL to the repository in the storage in the container registry. You know, the container registry, we can have multiple repositories in a container registry. So this is the link to the repository, link to the image. Then this is for the entire account. So I think let me just show it to us very quickly. Yeah, so for the registry, what you need to do is you come over to access keys. You can see it's still opened. So this is the server where I copy the server from. This is the username, and we also copy the password. So it was the password that we used. Copied this first one. Then for the storage account, we came over to so this is for the entire storage account. So we come over to access keys. There should be access keys somewhere. So these are the access keys that we made use of. And we copied was it the key or the connection string? Let me confirm. For the storage account, it was the key, yeah. So we came over here, it's Ayo Frank. So we came over here, the first connection string was what we used. So show, and we copied this. So that was what we use. So let me just run this. Let me run this. I just ran it. I hope there will be no collision. But we need to run it so that we'll see how it goes. So just to confirm, as at now, the file share is empty. I deleted the courses.json that was over here. So let me open this, and you see it's empty. It's empty. So let me go to browse, and you see that it's empty. There's nothing here, no files found. So what I will do now is let me go over to PowerShell, confirm. I believe you can still see my screen. Yeah, this is coming up. I hope we get what we are trying to do. So this is what I want to run. I believe the file is still over here, even though we ran it previously, but I want to run the container again. So let's move. Okay, so let me see if it succeeded. Let me scroll up. That was fast. Yeah, it succeeded, which is a good thing. Yeah, that was interesting. So let me just explain more about what we are really doing so that it will be very, very clear. So as I've said earlier in the previous video, the way containers work is it was not made to be storing data. So it's more like, so the same way you have RAM that you can use for temporary storage, but it's not meant for elongated storage, for persistent storage. I think the word for it is ephemeral. So it's once it stops, the data is deleted, and there are not enough space and things around that. So that's why we need to mount a volume to a container. And this is just a demo on how you can go about mounting a volume to a container. And if we are mounting a volume, Azure storage account have a service for that. And that service is known as FileShare. So you can think of FileShare as an external hard disk on the cloud. So you are just connecting your environment, your instance to that external hard disk so that you can save your data in there. So that's basically the summary of what we are doing. And we've already done this when we were working with my own computer. The container was running in my computer, but now the container is running on Azure on the cloud. So the way we go about it is a little bit different. So that's what we basically done. So what I will do is I will refresh this page, and hopefully we should be able to see our downloaded